Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Heidi's house. This is your host, Queen Bee Heidi B. And our today's featured guest is a true house legend, Alexi Shelby from Chicago. I'm so excited to talk with him about his house music journey. So, are you ready? Then let's go. So here he is. Alexi Shelby is in the house.
Chicago.
Welcome,
Yeah,
welcome, welcome.
thanks for having me.
We we have a true Chicago house legend in the house, and I am so excited to have this opportunity to hear about your house music journey and your views of this thing called house, and you being as one of the really elemental persons in the formation of the house sound itself,
Mm,
especially of course Chicago house. So I and all the viewers, we are definitely very grateful to have you here. So again,
thank you for
welcome
having
to
me.
Heidi's house.
Thank you.
So how is Chicago today?
Oh, nice outside. The weather is very nice, and so yeah, we're thankful for that the weather is still holding out. So we appreciate it as long as we can because we know winter is coming.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Well, as you know, this is a very short snapshot kind of podcast that
Mm,
takes a look into each featured guest and on their house music journey. So, obviously, you being one of the founding fathers and legends in this in this genre,
thank you.
very, very instrumental persons here. So, I kind of don't need to introduce you to our very enthusiastic fans and followers, but still, I always want to pose the same question because
Mm.
I'm just genuinely interested to know how people define themselves. So the first question would go, tell us a bit, who is Alexi Shelby?
Rebel, I would say rebel right off the bat. I mean, because I didn't stay the path of what the definition of what house is supposed to be. I didn't stay the path according to how you make it. I didn't stay the path of what you listen to. I didn't stay the path according to tempo. Definitely, I did not, which is why some of my music has been classified as techno. We didn't call it techno back then. For us, it was all house. It's just a faster version. So we didn't, matter of fact, I don't think we never called it techno. It's just like, oh, he's doing faster house. He's adding the 303. So, but it still was house. I think that soulful element that you can't help but do because you are yourself, that that makes it so. That you it can't help but be, still house no matter what, the umbrella. But the Europeans took that and just had to name it this. They had to, categorize it. But I'm like, what gave you the right? What gave you the right to come in or something and just try to name it? Just enjoy it. Like so much
Mhm.
of that has been, but people, I think it was done under the guise of this is their way in to try to be part of something. If you can't make it, then let me be a journalist and try to classify it. But I'm like, what gave you the right to classify it if you don't know
Yeah.
what's going on? But such is the way of the world that we are definitely today. So it just is what it is. We don't get involved in all of that. But I'll say this last part on that issue is that was part of the rift that started between us and Detroit
Mhm.
because everybody likes to talk about Detroit techno. Detroit was making techno, but so was Chicago. I mean, we got records
Yeah.
with dates on them that prove that. So when people just say Chicago house and Detroit techno, that is that box that they try to put us in. But
Mhm.
what is, like I said about acid tracks, if not techno. What is Robert Omani's ambulance? What is that? So what is my Mama Medusa, if not so? So the whole theory of Detroit techno and Chicago house is just ridiculous. Just like people in Detroit were making house. They like you
Mm.
people make it seem that only people in Detroit only make techno. That's not true. So
Yeah.
let's just knock it off with the propaganda and all of that, and let's just let it be, man. You enjoy it more. That's like constantly watching your feet while dancing.
Yeah.
You don't gotta do that. Just dance,
True.
man. You don't have to do that.
True.
Just let it be and put your damn phone down. Okay, cap. Now I'm not totally against the phone. Capture some moments, but don't
Hmm.
make it your whole thing. Like you're a
Yeah.
journalist. Like
Mm.
you missed the whole party because you were looking at it through your phone. You're there. Like people who would watch it on television wish they were there. You were there and still watched it like this. So it's just, I don't know, man. People just don't live in the moment. You miss so
Mm.
much. I've learned so much from living in the moment.
Very beautifully said. And actually, you commented on so many things in this one synopsis. Few things that caught my ear and attention, especially, is really about the fact that enjoying the art form itself without having to classify it, and the freedom, and like you started that you're a rebel. I kind of vibe very much to that, because I always found it in any form of art, to be
It
honest,
is to be
that
enjoyed.
why to define it. Yeah, just enjoy. You don't need to check the labels. You maybe more focus on the feeling that it arises within. I think then it does its job, whether it's a
Yes,
song or
absolutely. Well, I believe I that is part of how I produce. Like
Mhm.
I find the beauty or art in most everything. Like I've really been into the whole nature thing due to the fact that I've been out at sunrise a lot lately. And I
Mhm.
had think I was like, wow, you were missing sunrise, or just I just haven't paid attention to it being out in it. So it's
Yeah.
different than watching it from the confines of your home, looking out the window versus I'm driving home in it, and to be in that splendor and that wonder of it
Mhm.
all and everything. So it's just it's majestic. It is a
Yeah.
beautiful thing that brings song to mind. So yeah, a lot of my music or everything is based off real life experience. From Essence of a Dream to All for Lisa. Lisa was a real person who
Mm.
did not like the song, by the way. So she did not like the song. She was into hip hop. So All for Lisa was done for her, but she just did not appreciate that at all. So, and for me, that's like even my record Flame that's out now on Lauren Gunny's label. It was done about I saw a woman and I instantly thought, man, she's beautiful. And then you think about what would you say to someone like that?
Mhm.
First of all, would you ruin the fantasy? Maybe you speak to her and she's beautiful outside but ugly inside.
Yeah.
Or you but then you think about what would you say to her, knowing she's had to have heard many things. Her inbox has to be crazy full. So you don't have to own it to enjoy it. So I just enjoyed it from far. But as the more and more I looked at her photos and videos and things, uh, the lyrics came to mind. And so they
Yeah.
just wrote themselves, and it wasn't like a long drawn out. It was just that thought. And then I post the music around that. So yeah, man.
Wonderful. And another thing that you mentioned, really, I'm hearing a lot about the enjoying the moment, being present, and immersion into the music, and
I've lived
immersion
my
into
life
the feeling
like
and in the
that.
life.
Yes. Yes. Because that's what it is. And it's not as long as you think it is. And
Mhm.
tomorrow is just not promised, especially these days. Like you just don't know, which is sad that our innocence of thinking about everything else but that has long passed. So I
Mhm.
think maybe that's a good thing that we should enjoy it way more. You should uh I'm from an era where if I don't hear from one of my friends in a while, and a while to me is like shit a week. I don't like to not talk to my friends, to physically speak to them not just
Mm.
in a text. Me in a text lately, I've been like, that could be anybody texting back, although I know how my friends talk, so that's not possible. But I like to hear their voice. Besides that, I'm sonically like that. That
Yeah.
voices and things uh resonate more with me. I like that connection with people.
And I think that that's something that comes through in your music as well. You
Mm,
explore,
mm.
and like you say, you're rebellious, and don't like to necessarily label your music and just kind of like
Because it just
create that.
is. When I
Yeah,
wake up, I don't know what I'm going to make.
yeah.
I don't know what's going to come out. I've written songs that I wanted to go one way, and I can hear it going a totally different way. So I just stop fighting it and let it be born on its own.
Yeah,
And what it is what it is. I don't try to put a name on it. It's this is that. I mean, who said just because I add a synth element to it that makes it techno? I'm like, but I'm not sitting around beating on some drum by itself, and that's just that.
mm,
So I mean, it's just you missing the whole point when you try to define it like that. You miss the point of everything when you try to
yeah.
define it. You're so busy trying to figure out what it is that you're not enjoying what it is. So
Exactly. It's too much.
everything goes back. Yeah, too much of that.
Yeah, too much calculation and trying to kind of like manipulate the whole
Knock it
process.
off. Yes,
Yeah.
you're missing the whole point.
But I think really that's the fun of being really creative and true artist, because yes, like you
Mm.
described, that you have an idea, but you actually will never know what truly will come out of that when you really let the whole process take you, and then it will be very fascinating and exciting in one way.
Exactly.
It keeps
Exactly.
it interesting.
It to give birth to an idea
Hmm.
and to be blessed enough to make that, to manifest that, to make it happen, not just think it, but to bring it from thought to pure action, to make that happen is just, it's just a magnificent thing to see that happen and to have it accepted. Okay, because the rawness of it, like you put it out there, you don't know if people are going to like it. You don't know
Yeah.
anything about that. So I try not to get caught up in that because I'm my own worst critic as far as me putting things out. I'm like, oh, social media has done that, taken kind of stripped down that part and made it so much. Oh, they have to like. I don't really care anymore.
Yeah.
Uh, when I did those songs back then, I think the only one that people got right away were the beat track stuff because we didn't have social media. It was just us with us. So that part right there, and maybe Essence of a Dream because it was one of one. It was the first of its kind to do a
Yeah.
poetic spoken word like that over the over what quote unquote house beat. So
Yeah.
that right there was a beautiful thing to me, and once again made about how I wanted the woman to be, which is why it I approached it in a dream type state
Mhm.
for the whole song. So
Yeah.
yeah, it wasn't necessarily about her; as how I wanted her to be, and it was a real person who got flack for that when I went back to school because that was done in high school. So the
Yeah.
fact that yeah, people found out about her and she was so embarrassed, and I said some interesting things in that song that I was young and I didn't even know what a golden shower was. I just
Mm.
thought it sounded cool. I'm like, oh,
Mm.
I think I might have been watching up late at night watching cable something I probably shouldn't have been
Yeah.
watching, but I heard that term and thought, oh, that sounds
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Let me put that in there and everything. So yeah, and
Mm.
looking back on it, hearing radio stations play that, knowing what
Mm.
I said, I just it is
Like, oh
hilarious.
man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
But that's a beautiful innocence I'm hearing there in the story, that that kind of
yeah.
beautiful element, that we get inspired, and we are truly like want to express ourselves, and these kind of things, it's really something that when we put the full heart there and get inspired and so on, then I'm always saying to myself that we put a bit of ourselves there in the music, and of
Oh,
course,
absolutely.
especially the earlier
Absolutely. Yeah.
when.
No, 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 even now, but I think that right there is what people know you because your DNA is in it. They're like,
Mm,
oh, that sounds like Ricardo Villalobos, a good friend. And so he has been playing a song that I need to put out finally, a song called Music,
Mm-hmm.
that me and Robert, my big brother Robert Owens, done the vocals on finally together on a song like that.
Shout out
And
to
so
Robert
he's
Owen.
yeah, oh for sure, for sure. Man, love to my brother. So he has been playing a song, but it's not out yet. And
Mm-hmm.
somebody texted me from Transylvania asking me about the song. This guy was all enthusiastic. He said, "Man, I know your voice anywhere. I heard it in this song." He said, and he actually recorded it, played it for me in my inbox, and I was like, "Oh yeah." I said, "Where'd you hear that?" He said, "Man, Ricardo's been playing." I said, "Oh yeah,"
Mm-hmm.
which he owes me. Ricardo's supposed to have done a remix on the song, and sadly, I missed him and a few others when they were here playing in Chicago for the Art Festival. But yeah, man, I mean, it's just I'm excited that he's excited about the work.
Yeah,
That right there, it makes it worthwhile when people get excited about what you've done. It's accepted in that way.
exactly. And
Yeah.
all of those years, and now if I'm thinking about that, like most of our viewers know already who you are, but I want to also ask about this, that what got you originally to music? When did you realize that music is your way of expressing yourself? When did that process start, or
Well,
how did
I
it start?
mean, music has been in the family forever. Like
Mm-hmm.
my parents waking us up to music, and so that right there, your love for the art form itself, I believe, how that starts. How you put yourself into it is the whole digital age of it all. Well, I played some drums definitely early, which is why I
Mm-hmm.
favor the drums. I'm biased. I'm drummer by trade. So when you can be in a room by yourself like I was after school and just me and a drum machine making something, I'm like, oh man. Because then it was that simple. A simple drum track, the essence of it all,
Yeah,
uh, you can just feel it from that. And it's when so younger when I found out that a whole culture of African people spoke through the drum. I'm like, of course, that makes sense
yeah,
because that's us talking to each other. That is me from a heartbeat, even setting the tone. Like
yeah,
you feel that it must be it. So it can't be a simple thing as, oh, you're just going to put a couple of loops together to make this happen. I mean, of course you can, but I'm saying that I like to do it from to put me in there. This is me putting this instrument in. This is me putting this hi hat. This is me choosing this tom, this snare, this everything.
yeah,
So I love that personal aspect of it. That you are really getting bits and pieces of me, which is why I am protective over what I call my children. I love them
yeah.
all, no matter what. So
Yes, yes,
when you get caught up in the business aspect of it of people stealing what
hmm,
came from your soul, because that's this music comes from within. So
yes,
when I see these contracts now that I signed back then, not knowing, because for me, even now, I just want the music out. For me, the music
yes,
business, that is definitely two separate words, music business.
and business.
And you must still pay attention to the music. I tell all young people and anybody else getting into this, beware the word perpetuity, because
Mm.
that means that someone owns your intellectual property, your idea, part of your soul forever. So if I always say if the contract has that word in it at all, slave deal, don't go for that. Like
Mhm.
the fact it's an insult to just have it. Like I've had some of my friends who they don't really run their label like that. They don't run the day to day, but the standard contract is just that. I don't hold on against them. I just say don't hand that to me. You know what I'm saying? Like I tell people right off the bat, I say if it has that word in it, you might as well stop talking to me. Stop
Mm.
talking to me because I don't do slave contracts anymore. Like I
Yeah,
look back on, my babies are held hostage by some jackass label that that is just sad. That's something I made by myself in the room by myself. The majority of the time, is owned by someone now. You
yeah,
know, so I'm not getting into names and all that shit, but certain records I won't even sign. Like I just
yeah.
won't sign because it's like, somebody showing you a picture of your rapist, not to be so dramatic about it, and then being
Mhm.
like, hey, can you sign this picture? Hell no. No, I got PTSD just even looking at those labels or just hearing
Yeah.
my songs still being connected to that. Like, so it's just a sore subject about the music business. I love the
Mm.
music, but the business part of it, I mean, it must be handled due to
Yeah.
the fact that should something happen to me when I'm no longer with us, my legacy carries on to feed my family,
Yeah.
not to feed some, you know, Spotify jackass uh, to feed their family, to help
Yeah.
them grow and all of that, while my family is still not knowing because they don't know everything that I do.
Yeah.
I barely remember everything I do. That's why when you see me in the car driving with the music playing, first of all, I have
Yes.
to listen to it out in the world. That's a whole different feeling. And what you don't see is me snapping shots of the radio with the name of the song and everything, because I'd be like, oh my God, when did I do that? I'm like, I need to put this out. So it is so
Yes.
much stuff, so
Yeah.
much. And now I've discovered this AI component, and it has really opened me up to, because I like to work with different musicians, but the whole human element to that is they
Mm.
don't always have time, or you have to deal with what comes with that person. And sometimes it's
Yeah.
just not good, too much baggage. And if when you do the song with that person, you're forever tied to that person. So that's I never liked traveling alone, touring and DJing around the world and all that stuff. So that's why I always did the group thing. Besides that, the safety of the group made me shy as I am for back then, especially to hide my mistakes. The group made the mistake, not just me. So Risk
Yes.
A3 and Risk A Rhythm
Yeah.
Team, which is me and my cousin from back then. And I like the group thing. I still love now, even touring, rest his soul. Me and Paul Johnson were
Mm.
roommates, and we tour together, and it's just so good to
Yeah.
tour with somebody, because when you're in Europe and everything, you miss home, even though you're there, you're having a great time, but you miss someone that you don't have to explain why we're laughing at that.
Exactly.
This person
Yeah.
gets it right away, and that's like an inside joke. Like, I don't speak any language, but lived all over the place. And I remember being in France, and this journalist, uh, she spoke English, but people from Chicago know how to talk very fast. So she
Yes.
said, I can't understand what you guys are saying. And so at the time, it was me and Robert Amani, and we were just laughing, talking. She was interviewing both of us, but we were talking, saying a whole other thing in between, me and him talking real,
Yeah.
very fast. And it just made the whole moment hilarious. So yeah, man.
But you mentioned few things now again that really caught my eye, and then I could actually comment a lot of there because it's something that touches me as well. But I'm
Mm,
gonna come back to that thing that you said about the music being in your DNA, so to
yes.
say, and the
Uh,
drums and that cultural element there. I truly believe it is in our DNA, and the ancestral things,
absolutely. Absolutely.
everything like this is then somehow transmitted to everything that we do. So
Well,
in
that's it.
one way it is our stuff, but it's also a collective things that we are just like a vessels that we, so to
Well, that is
say,
what I
express.
called the tribe, the oneness of it all, which is what drove me to it
Hmm.
wholeheartedly. When I saw it, like, you feel it, but when you like go to the party, when you're at some rave and you see everybody moving on one accord, that's a powerful
Hmm.
thing. That energy is it's one of the most beautiful things ever to see that, and that's what hooked me. Like like I knew I wanted it, but when I saw that at a young age, because I wasn't even supposed to be in there. But when I saw that for my own self, there's no going back, because I dibbled and dabbled in a lot of things, to struggle to find my way. What do I want to do with my life? I love art, so the art of the music I wasn't sure of. I thought photography. I love taking pictures, even to this day. I love that. My mom modeled, so I thought about modeling. She thought about that for me. So I love to dress up. Cool. We thought that. So there are many things that could have put extreme sports. Before that was a thing, I was that guy who was jumping
Yeah.
across stuff and jumping over things. And so I was very athletic.
Yeah.
But once music came, oh, forget about it. Once I saw the oneness of that party, and I saw the DJ made that happen, made those people dance faster, dance slower, stop. And it was
Yeah,
Big
it's
Brother
the energy.
Ron Hardy first, who I saw, and to see him, the maestro himself, conduct
Mm.
that, there's no going back after that. Like I knew I'm meant to do this. This is my calling. And so I,
Yes.
man, slowly but surely got some equipment, and I'm just started making beats and everything. And I'm doing beats for people in school and putting their name in the track. And I would, sell that stuff, and everybody would be at my house after school, much to my parents' dismay. That's the last thing you want to see when you come home from a hard day's work, is a house full of people. So, but yeah, you get so caught up in it, I lost track of time that, oh, my parents about to come home. And so, yeah, y'all need to get out. But by
Yes.
that time it was too late, and so yeah, but my parents saw it. They didn't get it at first, which my mother, she has some mild guilt about this, and I tell her, I said, I didn't get it at first. Nobody got it at first. We didn't
Yeah.
know this was house music. We didn't know what it was. We just know that it was, and we had to be a part of it. I had to sneak out to go out to the house. I must see this oneness again. I must be part of this energy. So,
Yes.
oh man, yeah, no, it was. I was blessed to be caught up in a circumstance where, like, the neighborhood drug dealer was like, "Yeah, man." Once he saw my love for disco, then he was like, "I'm gonna take you out." And I didn't know
Mm-hmm.
what out meant. I'm thinking, man, past it's past 8 o'clock. He must mean tomorrow out, you know. So, but he came and got me. We snugged, went to the place, and he walked me right in. He was like, "Hey," he said, "No, he's with me." So it's cool. I don't think even, well, I guess still my growth spurt started then, but I definitely still didn't look old enough to be in there. And
Yeah.
hair
How
didn't
old
start
were,
growing
were
for a
you
while.
at that time?
14. Yeah,
Oh
14.
my.
Yeah, yeah. And to see that, you gave me the rules, don't eat nothing, don't touch nothing. Of course, when you were a kid, don't eat nothing, don't touch nothing. Immediately you want to eat stuff and touch stuff. But that's because, they put stuff on the fruit, and GHB and all that, LSD and all of that on the fruit to help the mood and all that stuff, which I had no idea about, but that he knew. So he was like, "Don't touch nothing, don't drink nothing." All right, cool. So to see that, to see the maestro himself at work, uh, Ron, is just it was just because everything was seemed so calculated, but still just raw at the same time. Just looking around, okay, play this. Okay, looking around, okay, play the real to real. Okay, now I play this. So to see someone at that level do it,
Yeah.
it's just a beautiful thing. And like, I didn't know protocol. I didn't know you just didn't go up to the DJ booth and shit, be like, okay, shit, can you play my tape? I didn't know that.
Yes,
You
yes.
know, that's not the way, but he got such a kick out of it that he thought it was funny. I gave him the tape, and he played the tape. And it was my little sister. I think she might have been 2 or 3 at the time. My little sister Vicky, and she couldn't say the word Jack, so she was saying "Deck the house, deck the house." Like, no, say Jack the house. And then my mother heard me yelling at my little baby sister, and she comes to get my damn baby. She takes my sister out there. I'm like, damn, I have to keep this. It's just going to have to say Dak. Oh well. So I do the track, got it on cassette, take it down into the club again. We go down there, I give him the cassette, and when he played the track, it came on, tack 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 the house.
Oh, yeah.
The crowd just went crazy. They loved it. I was like, oh shit, oh shit,
Wonderful.
this is amazing. So then again, you get these little footnotes in your life where, if you're lucky, you're paying attention and you realize where you're supposed to be.
Yeah,
If I was in this just for the money, shit, I'd have left. Although I can't say I didn't make any money, I did. I just, when you think it's going to always come, and it did, it came for a long time.
hmm,
And we'll get into what ruined that. I don't know if we'll get into that this call, but things happen to help you know where you're supposed to be in life. So I was so thankful. You're looking back on it now, I smile, and it makes my heart feel so warm that out of the choices that I chose this, and it chose me. So symbiotic as it
exactly.
is, that we chose each other, and it's been, music has never let me down.
Beautifully said. I always also kind of have had that feeling that I didn't choose the music chose me. That it
Yes.
is, you feel when it is your thing to do and your calling.
Mm. Mm.
Oh, you mentioned about that early Chicago house scene and you going to the club at the at the mature age of 14 and
Yeah,
everything,
yeah,
and
yeah.
starting it early. So could you tell us a little bit uh, uh, about that scene, house music scene during the early years?
It was the beginning. You know,
Mm,
no one knew house music. You didn't know that's what it was. You just knew you liked it. And it came from that was birthed out of disco. You know,
mm,
your love for disco, which thank God that was a thing and it went well here. And it's just certain songs that resonate, you know, then and now. Like every time I hear the song Martin Circus Disco Circuits, it's just a beautiful work of art. It's just, oh my goodness. It is what I like to call an orgy of sound.
yeah.
Like there isn't really a words to it, but it's one of those ones that definitely got my attention. I was like, oh my God, what is that? What is that? And that's amazing. And plus, my mother would, go out and win these dance contests out at these clubs. And so they would give you money and prizes. And one of the prizes they would always give her were records. And
Yeah.
so she would, keep everything else and give me the records and anything from my mother. I love her. That's my best friend. I love her to death. So I get the records. I'm happy to have anything from her. And you get one. Oh, thank you, mother. I don't know what this is, record. I got my own record. They like, don't play our stuff. Don't touch it. Don't do that. So cool. Now I'm getting my own little collection. I got one. Okay, then I got two. Then I got three. I'm like, ooh, I got a collection. I get about
Yeah.
six of those. I'm like, man. But I'm thinking something was wrong with it because it was like the 12 inch. And back then you even had 12 inch with just one side. I'm trying to play the other side and it's not going. I'm like, what the hell is wrong with this other side? So this record is shit because it only got one song on it. Not getting it at all. And just so it's just a beautiful time. So I've all even now I love a good song as much as I love a good track. Well, I love them in different ways. Like
Yeah.
you love your mother versus you love your father. You don't love them both. So disco giving me birth to house music because we couldn't do.
Yeah.
I couldn't. I'm not a musician like that, so I couldn't do the fantastic sound soul orchestra string lines that were those beautiful songs that still stand the test of time even now.
Yeah.
So luckily the drum machine came, and oh man, in Sonic, I think was the first my first drum machine. We used to say it looked like a stove because it had four round circles on it. It was meant for the sticks and everything, but you could also, play it with your hand and everything by making little tracks. So that became a thing. And it was like, all our friends get together. We all got our cassettes in our pockets at these house parties and everything else. And play my track next. And then you go from that
Yeah.
to being a DJ. You're like, actually, I was trying to dance. I wanted to be the dancer. You want to be dancers out in front. But then I had this growth spurt where I just like shot up. Everything clothes didn't fit, nothing else. And I was like, oh my God. And I tried to do some dance move and I think I kicked the living room table.
Oh.
Shit went flying everywhere. And they were like, you need to be the DJ. I said, I don't want to be the DJ. He's way in the back at that
Yeah.
point. He said, so you're not still putting it together. You're like, man, you separated yourself from the greats back then. And you're not, you wasn't really sure if you had what it takes. These are grown men.
Yes.
You're trying to be that like that. But once I commit to something, I stick to it and I have to be the best. So
Mm,
that's why I don't really pay attention to, or maybe I do, and it's just part of the thing that disgusts me the most, a lot of the easy way out of the people that are so called on top and how they got there.
mm,
Because I sacrificed summers. I wasn't outside playing around with my friends. I wasn't with girls and all that stuff back
yeah.
then. Definitely not as much. The more I got into music, the more I retreated into it, and I had to know how it works. How does
Mhm.
this work? How do you get this? And being a lyricist, I found I didn't know that was even a thing. But I start to, I think mentally I knew that a drum track, as powerful as it was, there weren't that many back then. So you remember the ones that
Yeah.
where you were when you heard them and all of that. no words at all in these tracks, but you remember them because it when the field wasn't as crowded as it is now. So I knew to add what can I do, and I couldn't sing, so I was like, I got older, so my voice started to change, and it went from sounding like my mother to my father, and
Mm.
people like that. And I wasn't even using my middle name Alexi back then because I thought it was, I always thought it was like a girl's name, so I would never say it. But then in high school, the most popular girl in school, she said, "What's your name?" And I told her, and she said, "What's your full name?" I don't even know what made her ask me that. Like she
Yeah.
knew I was hiding something, and so I said it. I said, "Keith Alexi Shelby," and she said, "Oh my God, that is sexy as hell." And I think that's when I dropped Key and just went K Alexi, and then it
Mhm.
was just K Alexi for a while, and then after that, because of my parents, I'm like, you don't like your last name, so cool, okay, cool. Now I got to do K Alexi Shelby, and so that became me and everything. But I like everybody early on, you Jack Master this and all type of crazy DJ names, and I'm like,
Yeah,
oh
yeah.
no, hold on, oh, okay, what happened was somebody called the house and Jack Master K or some they asked for that, and I picked some stupid name. And so my father answered the phone, and they said, "Yeah, can I speak to Jack Master K?" And my father just looked at the phone for a while because he was a no nonsense type of guy, and so he figured it was me. He said, "One of your little friends on the phone." He said, "Calling you Jack, man." He said, "What's wrong?" He said, "Listen, I don't understand what you're doing." He said, "But if you're gonna do it, you don't want to be a grown man someday and somebody calling you Jack Master, whatever that means." And then I just thought about it. Like I really thought about what he said, and it resonated so much of me. And I respect my dad. He's no longer with us, but still to this day, and shit, his guidance has led me to where I am. So I just like dropped that. I was like, okay, no more. I had Count Coolout was one of my high school names too. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be this weird stuff to stand out. Like you
Yeah.
want to because the field started to get crowded. Everybody started to do it. You're like, oh shit,
Yeah.
okay. So you want to? I want to be the best. I want to be the best. So that right there. So when Essence of a Dream came about, and like that song twice, maybe three times, almost didn't get done. Like the
Yeah.
first time I'm writing the lyrics to it, and for me, because it meant something to me, it was about how I wanted this woman to be, and I had to and it had to make sense, beginning, middle, end, like how I write. So as I'm doing it, and I was about to give up writing it, and then my cousin called me, who I worked with too. That's me and him and Risque Rhythm Team. But he called me and said, "Hey, what you doing?" I said, "I was working on this song." So we kept talking, man. He said, "All right, man, I'm about to get up out of here." And before he got the phone, he said, "Go finish that song." Fuck that song. I'm not doing nothing. So I hang up on him and I'm sitting there, still sitting at the table, looking at the piece of paper and knowing I got to be at the studio tomorrow. I'm like, it's a good song by itself. It's a good instrumental. It could
Mhm.
actually be it's still a good instrumental. People love that music. But okay, so I finished it as best I could. Do the song, we get to the studio, lay the track down, and then they say, "Okay, see you guys. Let us know when you scheduled to come back." I said, "No, no, 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 no. Words go on this song." They're like, "You out of time. You don't have time to do lyrics. You just have to do when you come back." No, no, no. Give me this. Honor me this to do this. Actually, no, he said, "Okay, if we do this, you have to get it right in one take." Cool. Let's stop talking. Time is money. Let's go. I go in the booth, pull my little pad out, clear my throat, say the words. Now, as I'm saying the words, the music playing is going together very nicely in my mind. I can't gauge their faces on how good it's going. So I can't tell if it sucked or whatever, but their faces were so like I had never seen before, just be weird, like I was speaking some other language, like they didn't get it or whatever. So I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna keep going. So I'm keep going. I finish the song finally. Oh, whew. When I finish it, I go out in the booth and they were like, "That's the most amazing thing we've ever heard." And
Mm.
I'm like, "Oh, Jesus Christ, y'all scared the shit out of me." I'm thinking it was that terrible. Cool. I didn't think much about it. I'm happy it's done. For me, cool. That part is done. It's gonna be out. Whatever. Happy. So the record comes out. I'm still in high school then, and the girl hears it, and the whole school hears it, and it's a thing. It's a thing. Like everybody's going crazy for
Yeah.
this song. Oh man, they're going, and I didn't expect that. Now I'm
Mm.
a bit embarrassed. She's super embarrassed because I'm saying things, I'm saying things I want to do to you, this, that, and other. And oh
Yeah.
man. And her parents, her dad loved it. I don't think he really still got the lyric. He just liked that a musician was dating his daughter or
Mm.
trying to date or whatever. So he liked that. Her mom, on the other hand, must have listened to the lyrics because she was not amused. she
Oh,
she she was not amused at all. So yeah, man, it became a thing, and it was just like back then we would do things called sex tapes, where you
mm.
have invite the girl over, and on this cassette you would have all the music that you want to have sex to. So
Mm. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
so so okay, cool. We got the cassette, and then people started to come to me and be like, "Yo, we made love off the record." And first, I thought that was just the weirdest thing because I didn't put myself in the category. I can make those tapes, and I'm not on none of them of my
Yeah.
own tapes, and it's me. I like no way. But then more and more people were saying that, and I'm like, oh shit, this is a thing. And I'm like, this is weird as hell. And I thought about what I said. I said, I guess it is kind of because I put myself out there,
Yeah.
just raw essence of me. Like it was just me and how I felt, like really the rawness of that. And when you do that,
Yeah.
you don't know what the world's going to do, and if they're going to get it right away.
Yeah.
Same thing
Yeah.
with All for Lisa. That whole EP was done in 2 days,
Mm-hmm.
and that was what like to call my musical college years,
Yeah.
because still I say still sharp and still, and I was living with some of the best at that time. I was living with Mike, big bro Mike Dunn. Well, everybody was big because I was the youngest person in the house. So I was
Yeah.
living with Marshall Jefferson, Bam Bam, and Mike Dunn. But the house was like a little Motown. Like everybody came over to hear things like Devotion, and all those songs were done in that
Yeah.
house. Right Back to You, all that stuff were birthed in that house. Dance Mother, birth. So all them songs were birthed in that house. So much power was in
Oh, the
that home.
classics. Yes.
But
Yes.
by me being low man on a totem pole, you don't get studio time. You have to sneak it. So I have to sneak in
Mm-hmm.
there, renegade style, do these songs, hurry up and get out, because nobody's thinking about music. Then once you hear some music, oh yeah, let me go downstairs. Like, oh man, you wasn't even thinking about this before I got in here. Beat it. I'm thinking about it now. So I developed my have to record fast and have to get it all done
Yeah.
technique. But I didn't, when the record was done, I didn't want to put it out with somebody. I didn't want to put it out with Chicago, just the same old, same old. I didn't
Yeah.
know about Europe back then. And so I don't think I did. But anyway, a friend of mine, Andre Hallman, who introduced me to Derek, he said, I got a friend, he's got a label. It's called Transmad, and he's in Detroit. But he comes up to Chicago like, oh, mom and everything lives here. So Derek was
Yeah.
in Chicago quite a bit. And so I said, okay, well, I don't know Detroit like that, but okay, cool, let's do it. Anything to make me not like the same old. I
Yeah.
mean, Derek, and we were alike more than not alike with his arrogance. And the more arrogant he acted towards me, we're the same zodiac. I'm Aries too. So the more
Ah.
arrogant he acted towards me, but I'm a younger Aries. So I'm just got to really be like,
It's
man, I'm
our
from
twin.
Chicago. Yeah, that pride. I'm from Chicago, goddamn it. You going, hey,
Oh, yeah.
whatever. So the whole EP was done in Chicago. Like I did it, but he wanted me to come to Detroit. I don't think I've been on. Yeah, I'm sure I've been on the airplane then, but it was me as an adult on the airplane going to go handle some business. So that part
Yeah.
right there was quite intriguing and cool. And it was a short trip, from Chicago to Detroit. That's like an hour and a half. So I
Mm.
get there, and I didn't know that you weren't supposed to take the tapes through the damn the scanners. And when I
Ah,
did that, the sync tone flew off, and we had to put the song back together when we got to there. And I always tell people I believe wholeheartedly that there were more lyrics on Off Lisa, but we did the best we could, putting that shit back together.
yeah.
So that right there was a huge headache, but we got it done. Derek's contribution was putting those sloppy edits in my music, but God bless him for taking a chance on me and putting it out. So I
Beautiful.
thank him for that, and the artwork that they
Beautiful.
came up with, made that a work of art as well.
Yeah, thank you for sharing on those really like in the early beginning
Mm,
phases. in your own personal journey. Now I'm thinking, okay, once again, I had many ideas coming to my mind, and one was, of course, with that like you said, that you fully immersed yourself into the things that you were doing,
Oh,
and that I
absolutely.
think it's like a lifestyle in one way, that you cut away from everything else, and focus on that creative process, and
Oh
you put
yeah.
of yourself into the thing, and I think it then comes through in that energy of the track that you sent, and then
Mm,
people resonate in a different ways. Okay, well, if it was initiating some hot
yeah.
things that going on in people's life, okay, fine, but I think that the energy, like you described, it was there,
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
raw,
No,
it was,
absolutely. And like I've started
Mhm,
playing because I really don't play my stuff. I play my new stuff. I don't play my older stuff. But I've
mhm,
started playing it more because I'm in different countries. When I was in Argentina, like I had it because I have it my music with me. That stuff is classic stuff. I have it with me always, but I just didn't get around to playing it, and I didn't realize how much people wanted to hear it until I played it, and I was like, oh shit. And so
mhm.
it fills me with so much pride. That's why I'm singing it at the same time, which I got that from Big Brother Rob, of him doing it, that sort of thing. And it is a part of me. It is a part of my history, and it is a part of people stealing my style with that and them doing it as well. So I'm glad I was able to help people find their voice, in this and everything. So it is a very, very, and it was the first, so it's very exciting for that. And like I said, it's just it was a beautiful thing. So and even my Detroit brothers and sisters still show mad love and respect when about the EP, because Derek hadn't done anybody else outside of Detroit but me at that time. So I
Yeah.
was, and by that record being like it was just raw.
Mm.
Me, 808, 303.
Yeah.
Like no whole bunch of sound modules. And I was surrounded by that, but I didn't know how to hook all that shit up. So I'm just gonna make something with this and with this.
Mhm. Yeah.
And that was all it needed. Like I didn't need to, beautiful chords and string. It didn't need that. It was raw. It was just And then I got in the song there are part underlying tones of the song going backwards and forwards at the same time. So there's a lot happening in the record that I don't even know if people get all of that that's happening in the record. I was and still is forever a huge Prince fan. So him
Oh,
and,
same
and, and,
thing.
and yes, and well, of course, and studying
I
his
mean,
lyrics and
genius.
everything. Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So I'm like, I want to be the house version of that. Yeah, I
Yeah.
might. So then it became clear, like, okay, I'm censoring a pattern. More of your songs are geared towards that because that's what I knew and that's what was big. So
Hmm.
I started to
Hmm.
make more and more songs of that, and plus my teenage adolescence, and you're starting to your hormones are going crazy, and so you think about sex. But for me, a lot back then, and so that's what I knew. So you gravitate towards what you knew. And I didn't do the music for the money. I did it for girls to be like, oh my God, look. So once I knew, I recognized my power of that. Your power of that, and then so I definitely abuse my power of that, because it was just, man, when you're advertised before you come to this country, that country, especially for back then. And
Yeah.
so them girls would be like, oh my God, and it's just so yeah, so many, yeah, yeah. I,
but
I
but
took full
I have,
advantage of, yeah,
yeah, and it is a love and sexuality is a driving force for music. I
it
mean,
is.
if you listen to Prince's songs and his lyrics and things,
A lot of
I
rock
would
and
say
roll song, almost, yeah,
80% or maybe more of his songs are with that theme. I think of some of the lyrics that
especially
I
back
have
then.
read. Yeah, yes, in the early stages of
Yes,
his early, maybe first 15, 20 years of his
man.
career. it was also it was, I think there was something in the air at that time. There was a little bit more
Yes.
liberation to talk
There you go.
about
There you
things.
go. Freedom.
Yeah.
Freedom to express yourself in that way without being
Yeah.
looked down on. Donna Summer would love to love you, baby. And she
Hmm.
cringed when she heard it later on. She couldn't believe that Giorgio had got that to come out of her.
Yeah.
And so yeah, man. And I was a little like that. That was me
Hmm.
saying those things, and I did mean them, but okay, if you I described a personal moment. Okay, so now
Hmm.
everyone knows your personal moment. That's the
Yeah.
thing, to put yourself out there, that vulnerability, to
Yeah.
do that, to open yourself up to that, to
True.
criticism, even, to have someone have the audacity to talk shit about that.
Hmm.
And then I branched out differently to not get pigeonholed. I didn't want to be known as that totally. I got different thoughts. I love sex to death.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't love it like that and shit, to where, like, well, not now and shit. When you're young, you don't know no better. You're like, oh, this is the greatest thing ever. But as you get older and you experience, more things in life, and
Mm.
some tragedies,
Yeah.
you have to express the sorrow and the injustice. I
Mm.
tell people all the time, you don't get as old as me with a career and you never said nothing about the state of affairs and the
Mm.
racial climate then and now, and or you
Yeah.
didn't say anything. Like, the death of Ron Hardy hit me extremely hard, because he was a mentor and a teacher, and, like, just an architect in Chicago sound, period. Like, his
Yeah.
aura so big that I remember speaking to someone on MySpace about him, and he didn't know that Ron was dead. And I thought, oh my God, his persona is so big, and we talk about him so much that people thought that he was still alive. Like I said, I want to be that, man. Like, his legacy, and my playing style, playing faster, definitely comes from him.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want people dancing all cute when I'm playing. Okay, we'll start off maybe like that. But at the end of when I'm my set, I want you sweaty. I want your hair fucked
Yeah.
up. I want your clothes. I want missing buttons. I want you to know you had a great time, that you lost 20 pounds fucking with me. Like, I want that. I want the
They got
experience
the
of it
dance.
all. Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
want that.
Yeah. Yeah. Full
It should be that.
energy.
Yes. There you go. And it should be that.
Mm.
Parties should be that. They should be enjoyed. The music itself, to me, I always call it, is a poor man's or a poor person's time machine. Like, a
Mm.
song can take you right back to when you heard it, right back
Yes.
to how you felt. You can almost
Yep.
picture yourself wearing the exact same thing. You can picture the people who you went to the party with, who you heard. Oh man,
The
even just drive.
locations,
Yes,
exactly.
everything,
There
the
are like
smells in the air.
places
Yeah,
with the
absolutely,
song. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
absolutely.
And
This
that's a
gets
very
you there.
powerful way to communicate, and it also
It
unites the
is
people in a beautiful way. Now, you mentioned, of course, like Ron Hardy being your mentor. Now, if you think
one
about
of them.
the house
He was
music
one of them.
scene, who would be other persons that have been very influential to you as
Oh
an
shit,
artist?
Frankie
Mm.
Knuckles, definitely big brother Frank, who I used to call Big Frank. I would call his
Mm.
house and be like, Big Frank. Somebody answer the phone and be like, somebody, and they'd be like holding the phone, trying to tell Frankie, somebody said Big Frank. He like, give me the phone. I know who that is. So he give me the phone, me and him talking. Oh man, him taking me under his wing too was a precious thing. Robert Owens, definitely Larry Hurd, definitely Big Brother Mike Dunn, Marshall Jefferson. Like, when you live with people, you learn
Mm.
so much. So those
Yes.
guys, my Detroit family, Derek May, Carl Craig, and even more now, my brother Moody, so Moody
Mm.
man. So it's just, I love and Kahan, rest her soul. So it's just, I love people who express themselves with that I don't give a damn whether you like it or not attitude.
Yeah.
It's not many people who can get away with that,
Yeah.
because art is subjective. Either you get it or you don't. The thing with me is, I don't think people get me right away. They
Mm.
get me after the fact, after your something snaps, something clicks in their psyche, and then they're like, years later, people come to me about songs that I've moved on from that. They're like, oh
Yeah.
man, this summer here, So when people come to me and say, "You'll never guess what my favorite song is," I just stop guessing because I don't know. I don't know what
Yeah.
they're gonna say. Like some songs they say, and I just be like, just so blown away. I'm like, and then that transport me back to where I was when I did it. And it's
Yeah,
just
yeah. What
me
was
and,
the
and I
mood
did
at
the
the
song and I was
yeah.
like, man, that was then to think that
Mm.
it touched someone like that. You know,
Yeah.
that what I did in the room touched someone years later, decades later, that it still moved them. Like I've had someone tell me that I was the soundtrack to their life.
Mm.
That's a powerful thing. I told
It
my
is a
son,
powerful
I
thing.
said, I don't know any, a lot of professions where that, you get that type of vibe.
Yeah.
Plastic surgeon maybe. Somebody's, face disfigured and so they fixed it as best they could and made it look, quote unquote normal. And so
Mm.
they're thankful of that. Like people have been thankful. They're like, man, like they really like want to do what they do because I did what I did.
Yeah.
And
And
um,
then
and
they resonate to that energy probably. Like
yeah, I
it's
know
it's
for
it's
sure.
very interesting thing
A
that when
transferring
you
of energy.
yeah, exactly. That when you describe it so well that when you are in certain situation where you know how you felt, what was your energy,
Oh, absolutely.
when you created that, that could transfer to another person and really build a connection years ahead, and it's still kind of like
Yes.
it never goes away.
Yes.
And then
Yes. Yes.
again, new meanings, new, of course, interpretations, but it's a beautiful thing because it really builds that connection
It is.
with
It is.
everybody.
I love that on how something like I haven't stopped. So I'm thinking about all the songs that you haven't heard that I have
Mm.
yet to bless the world with, that I have yet
Yeah.
to just like put out there. I'm like, man, just calm down. You ain't seen nothing yet. I'm working on distribution deal with a few people, so we'll see how that goes because I want it all out. Does nothing for me to hold it all to myself. Me driving around in the car, I'm just listening to it myself, musically masturbating, as I call that. Like it's no good like that. You need to, you saying how great you are, you to yourself. No, the world needs to hear this, world, because you don't
Mm.
know what it made someone's day. It changed their life. Like they might have been
Yes.
feeling really down, and so what you did, pick them up. And I have some great things on the way because my sound has matured like I have. So
Mm.
it's not still the same old thing. It's definitely not the same old way. Like I'm
Mm.
definitely set on that. Like I don't like to bring it to you the same way. You can go to anybody, go to somebody else for that. Like go to
Yeah.
one of those people imitating me and my style. I said there are plenty of those. I've gave birth
Mm.
to many careers, whether they know it or not. And shit, I look at
Yeah.
like, yeah, that's my technique that you use, and this is my that. And I can hear you speaking like me. So I'm flattered that it's that. But I just don't like when people act like that person did it before me. I'm like, no, my shit got dates on them. You can,
Mm.
yeah, I did this,
you
and
you
here's
were
when. Yeah, so
exactly, and it kind of like it's like an echoes or reflections of the things that went
absolutely.
on.
That's,
Yeah.
and it lets you know it's my tracks, my footprint. Lets me know where I've been.
Yeah.
Lets me know where I've been. So that's like when I hear certain records, and I hear all these records, it takes me back to where I did it and everything. Like I don't remember them right away, but I've done so much that I have heard some things that I didn't know it was me right away because I do it and I just
Yeah.
move on. Like I've done my record is 4 songs in 1 day. Four
Mm.
songs in 1 day, four almost four different styles, and because I'm who I can count on. I
Mm.
want remixes from this person, from that person, but they don't have time or they just not gonna do it. I'm not gonna not do my project because they're not gonna do it. So I
Yeah.
just still get it done. And I just put on a different hat, so to speak. Like I'd be
Yeah.
like, okay, now if I did this song now and I was feeling more techie, okay, cool. Let me jack the tempo up and approach it from that angle. Approach it from a tech angle. So I'm able to switch styles because it means nothing to me. I didn't come up in the era where like I had these blinders on, where like this is techno, this is deep
Yeah.
house. It wasn't that. It was just house. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? I was faster. Okay, that's fast house. So I'm so thankful that I came up in the era that I did, and it meant something. You couldn't bluff your way in. Not in last. There are plenty of songs, one hit wonders, that's their claim to fame, and they've not done shit else since. But
Mhm.
me, I'm still here. I was there then, and I'm here now. And I'm shit. I got plenty of shit. I'm not going anywhere. I'm still setting motherfuckers
Yeah.
on fire. So and I DJ for real. Like I come
Yes.
up in there doing disco, and I don't. A lot of people don't realize how hard that is because we
Mhm.
talking not a drum machine with another drum machine, not a track with a track. That's easy now, but to do like a live drummer over here playing that record, a live drummer over here who wasn't always. It's just impossible to keep it on time
Yeah,
like that.
yeah,
But to do that, that's the era I come up in. And playing records wasn't no sync button, no shit like that. Like a lot of these things were meant to help, but they've kind of hindered us because a lot of people took the easy way out. Like
yeah. If you
they
don't
need.
invest the work, it is kind of
There
there's
you
not
go.
really then the deeper involvement, so to say,
Absolutely, absolutely,
and no
and a lot of shit.
shortcuts.
People, but there are people were handed shit. For me, I've sacrificed so much. I miss birthdays that I can never go back and miss this. This person's birthday. I miss
Yeah.
graduations. I'm in Ibiza and shit, and my son graduating, and I'm like, I can't get that back. I was
Mm,
furious that I wasn't, here for that. So when I look back at my career and things like that, there are sad moments because I'm very family orientated. And
mm,
even like it's not just blood that makes family, family makes family. So I got my friends that are still like my family. I got fans that I don't call them my fans. I got people there because we're close. I share intimate moments with them.
mm,
I share moments with like of wisdom. While if I could help you, here's some sounds for you to get you started. Here's this is that, like freely. Like I
yeah.
didn't want nothing. I want to see you be great. I want to see you win, especially when I can see something, when I can see that spark, I can see that passion in someone. I was helped, so I try to
Mm,
help other people, as much as I can. And I love to see women do it because I love their perspective. It's not the
mm,
same as some guy trying to do it because he's usually thinking about caught up in so much stuff that he's heard before. But women do it with that certain whimsical, like, yeah, this is the way
yeah.
women do it, and so it's funny. I love that to hear them really do it because there's a lot of fake shit out there with them saying they're doing it. I see pictures of women in studios and shit, but I ain't never see you making nothing. So it's a lot of fugazi bullshit out here. So I try not to get caught up in that, but some social media, some things I just I hate to join into it, but I just be like, I must say something. I must say something because yes, by all means, let me stamp this too and say I too am tired of your bullshit. So yeah, yeah, man.
That's our times nowadays. But I guess it's a name of the game a little bit. But again, I want to just address one, two more things about this
mm.
journey as our this snapshot kind of interview is getting close to end. But really, what I'm hearing, it truly is, and what I have been seeing, of course, is that you are doing your own vision, you are doing your own rebellious way, and you really do it for the sake of the music, not for the
Oh,
sake
for
of
sure.
validation or things like this.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, it's the beauty of being the artist. And that is, I think, one of the elements of that kind of timeless
Mm.
music and success that we can
Absolutely.
see in the artists that really test the time, just like Prince. Like we both know that he was
Oh, for sure.
unlimited, he was taking elements he wouldn't calculate. And I think those kind of elements really they make you one way or the other stand out, because it's not the people who really go with
Mm.
the crowd, but the people who have the courage to do their own thing and give up on many things in
Yes.
order to
Yes. I
pursue their
gravitate towards
vision.
those people. Creatives is what we call those people. I
Mm,
gravitate those people because I love that and I want to speak to them. I want to know, how much are we the same? What parts make us different? Like what made you do this part? What made you do this? What were you thinking when you did this? So I love that aspect of it to hear young creatives, older creatives, because we have still much to learn from older people. I've learned I was open enough to learn from my elders. And
yeah.
so that is why I get so angry at some of this new people because I'm like, if it were not for us, where would you be?
Mm.
Where would you be? And that's what I said about the name house music is so powerful that even when you know you're not making house, you're going to stick our name on it. You're going to brand it you because
Yeah.
we built this. If what you're doing is so fucking great, call it something else.
Mm. Mm.
So that's my thing with that. And this thing, like anything else, it's a cultural thing, and it you should approach it with respect,
Yeah.
and you should give flowers to those who paved the way, which I try to always do that because we're not going to always be. We lost some great people, and I think about the technology now. Like how would my people who we lost, like how would they, man, how wonderful they would be with like Paul Johnson, like
Mm.
he, incredible producer. Not to can you imagine him with AI? Oh my
Mm.
goodness, man. He would just be, I would be getting those calls. Come in and would just call each other. Like that was my real buddy. So we call each other just to say stupid stuff. And we tour together just to say stupid stuff. And it just, I think it was just to talk to someone who been where you've been, to know what you know, and to
Mm.
hear that voice. You know what I'm saying? Like not so much text, but yeah, we would call each other late at night, and I'm smoking and he's smoking. Definitely way more smoking back then, and yeah, to hear his creative voice, and I think about the songs made when he and I lived together, and that's why I say that saying "steel sharpens steel" is a true thing. You know, you feed off who you're around. You want to be around creative people because if you're not, then they will suck your energy dry. So you
Mm.
need to be around people who get it. So it definitely helps me feed the world with what I'm doing.
Thank you for feeding us and continuing to feed us with the beautiful, creative,
So much food
amazing
coming.
music, something that is always exciting. So we
Mm.
stay tuned for the future releases, many more years to come. Sending you much love from Helsinki, Finland.
Thank you
Thank
very
you
much.
for this interview.
I hope to see you guys soon.
Yes. Thank you. Bye bye.
Ciao, ciao.